Hi, welcome to today's show. So glad to have you here with me. Today I have a guest. As you can see, this is Christina Franz. She is going to be talking about the divine feminine. She is a channel. Before we jump into that, hello to my listeners in Coplay, Pennsylvania. I so appreciate your support of the show. Thanks for being here week after week. I do see you. So we're going to start on this topic. I don't think I've ever covered this topic on the show before, and I've been doing this show a long time. So this is exciting. Welcome, Christina.
Thank you for having me here, Ivory.
So, just kind of say what you think the divine feminine means in your opinion.
Divine feminine, it's an aspect that it's an energy we all have within us. You know, whether you're a male or a female, you carry the feminine energy. And it's something throughout these lifetimes that we embark on our journeys to explore. You know, we explore both sides of the divine feminine, divine masculine. But divine feminine to me, it's that pure, it's that intuition, it's coming from your heart, it's that loving compassionate nurturing, but also protective, you know, and defensive energy. Like you're there and you protect your family and the things that you love. It's very creative. It loves to express itself through creativity, your art, singing, dancing, whatever it can like just express itself through. That's all like the embodiment of the divine feminine. It's a part of all of us within that we need to connect to be in balance. You want to have both of your energies balanced. You want to have the perfect balance of masculine and feminine within you to truly be centered and be your true divine self as the creator intended you to be.
What's really interesting is this is a very hot topic right now in society, on social media, though they're not you often using the term divine feminine, but they're talking about the same thing. They want, especially women, wanting men to have more of the divine feminine within them. And they're seeking that in their male partners. So I love how you talk about we're both, all of us are exploring, we all have to have an aspect of this. So this kind of leads into the next thing. How do you think the divine feminine can help us create a more balanced society?
Goodness. You know, when you tap into that divine feminine within, you get that inner guidance that you need. You know things that you normally you wouldn't be able to know. You're attuned to a whole other different aspect of yourself that can see things from a higher perspective that you cannot. So when you're being guided by that divine feminine within, you're able to explore life and make it through life's journey and experiences a lot better than you normally would on your own. It's it's tapping into that part of you and realizing that that is you, that you embody that energy and you are allowing it to guide you because you trust it and you're allowing it and you let it guide you through your journey and to the things that are meant for you. So in life, you would find people that were able to, you know, handle life a lot better. They wouldn't let other people affect their energy. They wouldn't let circumstances affect their energy, and they understand the reason for everything. So it's your life is just so much more at balance and at peace when you are tapped into your divine feminine energy.
Do you in your work meet a lot of women who really are not tapped into that for themselves?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are just still struggling between both energies and also realizing, you know, those parts of their self. A lot of us are, you know, we've had traumas. We went through so much that we're trying to heal from. So a lot of them have cut their self off from certain aspects of the divine feminine out of protection and they don't realize it. So it's just helping them work through those things, helping them heal those traumas and those wounds, and to understand that these were all just experiences to help you grow, to help you evolve into who you are meant to become, and to allow it, just to forgive the trauma, leave it behind, but take the lesson with you, and start embracing all those aspects of yourself to bring them all back into wholeness. Not to, anytime you're pushing any of it away, you know, and keeping it out, then you're not going to be in balance. So it's welcoming those back in and understanding that it's a part of you and that you need it.
I can always tell when a woman has kind of steps into it or starting to step into her own divine feminine because it's like you see them literally blossom before your eyes
It
and
is
they start
beautiful.
seeing things so differently and embracing life and having more joy. And what I also see is them really talked about the creativity. I really see
Mhm.
them starting to branch out into new creative interests and explorations, and it just fills my heart.
Yes. And their work is the most beautiful work then, because, as Source told me, everything that you create, it's a full embodiment of you and your energy. And so they're at such a beautiful place at that time in their life too, and in such balance. And that all goes into whatever they're creating. And that affects other people. They can be activated and triggered by what all these little pieces that they're making. It's phenomenal to see what we're capable of. It's just beautiful.
It is. It's a very positive domino effect for sure.
Yes.
So, how do you see the divine feminine influencing people's lives?
Amazing. I think so many of us out there now, we are embodying this energy fully and sharing it with others, just setting that influence that they, to inspire them to follow that same path. It's standing in your power. It's knowing your worth and value. It's having strict boundaries, and knowing like, okay, this is not good for me and I'm not allowing this in, or you're not respecting me, so you're not going to be in my energy. And we're kind of setting the way for other women out there to do the same, and men as well. It's setting that example, being that full embodiment, being that caring, loving, nurturing, but at the same time also protective of our energy, understanding that that is the most valuable thing that we have, and we protect it and our family and our homes, and we look out for one another as well. It's teaching that we are a tribe. It's coming back together as a community and working as a whole, and that is, I think, one of the most important messages right now and examples we can be setting for everybody is to be coming back together and working as a tribe again, because that's where we're strong, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nothing works without the other half, right?
Exactly.
What challenges do you see people encountering when they're trying to embrace the divine feminine within themselves?
Kind of goes back to what we were just talking about. It's still those blockages. It's the trusting and allowing people in, after being hurt and stuff like that. So it's so many walls up. And so it's hard for them to truly embrace that loving, nurturing side, that inner child that they once were, when you were a kid and you were just free and had nothing weighing you down and you were just one with everything. That's the energy we need to embody again. That just sweet, innocent child that looks at life as just this big playground, to experience life on. And we need to embody that again. But it's very hard after all these experiences that we have went through. So it's finding that balance again, being able to trust that you have learned what you needed to learn, that you can trust yourself in going forward, that you wouldn't make those same mistakes or allow those same people into your life. And that's really, really what I see everybody struggle with the most, and with letting in the divine feminine fully.
That gets in the way of a lot of things when people
Yeah.
don't just focus on the lesson and forgive themselves because you're not who you were when you made that choice, right?
Not at all. And there was no wrong or bad choices. Every choice is good for you. Every choice, even if it's a lesson that you need to learn, you needed to learn that. We come here to make mistakes. So don't beat yourself up when you make them. Just all you have to do is observe and see what it was you're supposed to gain from that whole experience. That's it. We don't need to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders for the rest of our life and beat ourselves up over these things. I mean, that's only hurting you, and that's it. It's holding you back from truly living the life and getting what you were supposed to get from that experience. So we just have to understand that and release and forgive.
Absolutely. So I like how you focus a lot on the balance between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. How do you navigate that, the relationship between those two?
Me, it's easier for me. I don't know. It's always been natural for me. Well, actually, no, I actually do have a lot more masculine than I do feminine. Actually, it has been a little bit harder to get in the feminine. And that was a lot of my big problem was, allowing after and tapping into like that inner child I used to be, before all the trauma and the pain. That was my biggest struggle. But I actually do embody in this lifetime a lot more masculine. And I was also raised around nothing but men. And so it's like I've always been prone to have that more, and I've always been the strong one and the protector, but that's also a lot of feminine. So it was just realizing that these were all traits of mine and I needed them all. I needed to, you got to just find that balance. Sometimes if you can be too masculine coming at everything, and you need to sometimes let that intuition guide you and coming from the heart instead of the mind, and it's understanding that these roles are both something that you need, but it's learning how to, not have too much of the other. It's very easy that, you got a thin line that you have to walk down. It's very easy to veer off and get off the road a little bit, but you can just jump right back on. It's always just trying to find that even road and even balance of both.
I think one thing that is really affecting life for people right now is that it's not respected for women to have masculine energy or men to have feminine energy. Like, I would love to live in a society where both are honored and it's okay to have both within everyone. Like, wouldn't that be
Yes.
just like the utopian society for sure?
Yes, and it can happen. It's going to happen. It just takes awareness. We've had so programmed into our minds for so long. It's been like this war against masculine and feminine, and each one like competing. And it's like we have to let them know. I mean, we're a team. We do this together. It's a team. You need both, and they both have these amazing qualities. And so whenever they combine, one side has something the other one doesn't. So whenever you bring each other together, whatever this one's lacking, this one has. So together, you're a unified, like perfect, storm right there. Like you can tackle anything. And so it's something we need. We need to stop looking at everything as a competition or needing to be better than. We are united as a whole. We are one, and we both need each other. And that was the thing. We just went through we went through a timeline in the past where it was the feminine's time, and the feminine reigned, and then we went through the masculine. This time is now where we realize that, okay, we have both and we need both. We've had our time of being separate. Now it's about being together. It's uniting that masculine and feminine within, not without. It's not something with outside of you. It is something within you, within all of you. And when you do this, this is how you're able to maneuver through life like effortlessly. This is where you're at peace, and like life just, everything you want just comes to you. You're a magnet for it because you embody that energy. You're both of these parts of yourself you have united within you, and you're everything you need. There's nothing outside of you that's needed at all. And that's where your manifestations, you don't even have to try. It's finding you because it's drawn to you because of the frequency you're at, and this is where the magic happens in life. And you start really truly living and exploring what it is to be beautiful human soul here, having an experience on life.
Kind of an exciting time to be here, isn't it?
Yes, very.
So, what practices could you recommend if somebody's looking to cultivate that divine feminine energy just in themselves in their daily life?
Yeah. One thing I do recommend, I know a lot of people out there, they struggle so badly with meditation and going within, and they're like, I just can't do it, or I fall asleep. And, that's, well, but that's the thing, like nobody is saying enough of like what different ways you can do meditation. Meditation isn't just sitting there in your lotus position, on the floor in silence. When I do it, when I do artwork or create anything, that's me tapping into myself. Like all these thoughts can come through my mind, and I'm not giving any of it my attention. I'm just allowing it and listening to, just letting it go. And then all of a sudden, here's my higher self. It's able to come in because I'm not trying to control anything. My mind is not, trying to run the show. And I'm just allowing as I'm doing this work. And so much information comes to me at that time. I'm able to tap into that inner divine feminine within me, and they're expressing themselves as well through the work that I'm doing. But that's where you can get your guidance and tap in and start exploring those different realms of being feminine. Your higher self knows what you need at that time, and it's going to get, walk you down that journey and show you what it is you need to tap into and start allowing you to express. So I always just recommend to start going within, take that time to connect with that divine feminine within, set that intentions. Intentions are everything. When you go to do anything, if you're wanting to connect with the divine feminine, you need to connect at your heart center. You can place your hands over your heart and just say, at this time, I'm connecting to the divine feminine within. And I would like to connect with you and explore what it is to be the divine feminine. And you will hear that voice. You will start getting guidance from them. And even in everything you do around you, you'll see signs, whether it's through music or people, everything, they speak to you through it, and they will guide you to what you need at that time.
Sounds very much like what I've talked about on the show over and over about angels, because that's the
Yes.
focus of my work, and very much like that. Uh, Something you said in here really caught my eye, and it's about balancing nurturing qualities of the divine feminine with assertiveness and boundary setting. And that, as a former mental health worker, that really caught my attention. What do you mean by that?
Okay. It's as a divine feminine, we have that loving, nurturing side, and it's what this world needs right now, too. We've come out of this masculine era, and, it's been all about the control and the dominance and power over you, and, just like this such harsh energy. And the world's ready for that, like loving, nurturing energy now at this time. It's overdue. So, and that's such a one of the greatest qualities about the divine feminine is that loving, caring heart that it can extend to anybody and it loves everyone. But at the same time, you do have to have those boundaries. There are people that are not vibrating at that in that same range and not thinking the same as you. And there are many people out there that love to take advantage of the loving, nurturing people because they see their kindness. So they just want to take advantage of them. So you have to become aware and you have to learn the signs from the lessons you've learned before of, okay, this would not be a good situation. And it's also listening to the inner feminine, because she will warn you when you go around somebody. And if they would not be of the right energy for you and it wouldn't go well, they're telling you your warning signs are going off inside of you. So it's being aware and attuned to yourself, to that divine feminine, and know when they are telling you these things. And you learn to protect yourself. You learn to not hurt people's feelings when you're telling, but be firm and allow, stand up for yourself and not be afraid to, and understand that that is the most important thing, is to look out for you and your energy and to have those boundaries, because it's a lot harder once you get out of those energies, or you let somebody hurt you or affect you. It's a lot harder to pick yourself back up and bring you back to where you were. It's a lot easier to get out of energies than it is to get back into them. So you understand that you've went through it before and you want to keep yourself where you are. You know how important it is. So it's being loving and kind at the same time, but also knowing where there's times that you need to stand up for yourself. You need to speak your truth, and you need to not let people walk all over you and step over your boundaries at all.
And people who have been stepping over your boundaries, the more you reinforce those, they're going to push back. And that's why you need to be strong, like to be
Yeah.
prepared for that. You might have people exit your life, but you have to make yourself a priority. You
Oh,
have to
yes.
protect yourself.
Yes. And when you do this too, like, yes, they might try, they'll come back a couple of times, but when they see you're strong, they'll never try again. And then the other people see that around them too. And so they don't even try. Like, literally, when I started my journey, I had to tell no to like a few people a few times. And then after that, it was like, I never heard from anybody again. All these people that, oh, you're my best friend. And da da da. It's like, no, you were just wanting something from me. And then once it was cut off, like, I never heard from them again. I was like, what happened to you loving me so much? And I'm your best friend. But they stopped. I didn't even have to kick them out of my life. They literally took their self out because they seen I changed and they were not getting anything from me. I had these boundaries and I placed them and they were not budging. And so they just stopped altogether. And so I didn't have all the big breakups or fights or anything with anybody. It was actually kind of easy. They just took themselves out of the situation altogether.
Yeah, they just sort of disappear, and that's okay. I think you have to prepare yourself for that. People who haven't had boundaries presented to them don't like it when you set it up, but it's part of getting strong and growing. What strategies do you recommend people use to kind of access and embody their own feminine energy, and especially through
So
channeling? Because I know that's your focus.
yes, it's it's really through just being your authentic self. The divine feminine is about just being her no matter what, and not holding back. If you're wanting to sing, especially if you're channeling, there's so much beautiful music that comes through us through channeling that's straight from the divine feminine, that's ancient and just sacred and beautiful. And it's allowing, it's trusting and just letting her express herself in any way that she wants to come out. It's speaking her truth and being there for people and not being afraid of it, standing up for what you believe in and not, being afraid of it. It's going against the grain and not being afraid. It's really letting go of the fear and just allowing whoever you are to come out and express itself in its most authentic form,
I
which is so important because we've been suppressing her for so long. We've been suppressing ourselves and being something that we're not. So it's so freeing once you just allow the true you to come out and shine, because that's what the world needs right now, is that divine feminine.
Because I'm all about authenticity. I just think that's probably one of the most critical things that anyone can do for themselves, is to stop living for other people or trying to please other people, but just do what you think and know is right for you. And that would tap into that divine feminine, would help a lot with that. I could see that.
Yes. It's learning to love you, all the parts of you. They're all beautiful. And so many of us were scared to show that to people. And, we've been told this is bad or that's bad, or we have to do this. And, once you just drop that and allow, it's so freeing. You never want to go back to wearing a mask again or trying to please people, because you see how much weight it put on you. It holds you down.
Yeah, there's nothing good about that at all. Can you share any messages from your own channeling sessions that kind of would emphasize the significance of honoring the divine feminine?
One that just popped into my mind was one time God was sitting there and teaching me that, they're like, yes, we made you lose all your self-worth. We made you lose all your self-respect. You lost it all. But they're like, have we not built you up now and showed you exactly who you are? Have we not showed you just how much respect you need to have for yourself, how much love you need to give to yourself, and tap into that always? And now you will never let anybody come into your life for 1 second and make you think anything less of yourself, or to take you in a place where, you're out of that energy. They're like, that was the whole point of the journey and the ups and downs and the experiences. And it's to gain this wisdom and knowledge. It was to help this world. Many of us, we are old souls, and we've been doing this for a long time. We came here just to help humanity at this time right now, to embody these energies and heal from all these traumas. But in order for us to do that, we had to live through it. We didn't know how to explain it to people and how to, tell them correctly where they would understand unless we went through it. So many of us, it's realizing these things, our purpose and why we went through it. And instead of being upset the rest of your life of why did this happen, or how could they do this, it's understanding that there was such a bigger purpose for this. And it actually ends up becoming your victory, in the end, that you take those traumas and all those hard times, and it catapults you into your future. You use those experiences to help others. And this is what it's all about. It's looking out for one another. It's helping each other grow. It's helping each other evolve together and united as a team, as one. And it's teaching others to embrace all these parts of yourself. And this is where the beauty is. This is what it just all boils down to. That's the beauty. And it's what we're all here to do. It's working together to unite as one, to bring ourselves back to our divine, true, original blueprints of love and light. And we're all in it together, just guiding each other.
I'm definitely seeing more and more people, especially in the last few years, really blossoming, really opening up, really having their big awakenings. It's just beautiful to see. I would imagine you're seeing something similar to that in your own work.
Yes. I have my light language, and I activate a lot of people for theirs. And that's always just like, it's the greatest moment ever, because that's like a reward. They've done such good work. They've done the healing. And so this is like the first time like the divine's really stepping in and giving this big reward, and their frequency goes from like here to here, and their whole life just shifts in so fast, and they just don't even know how to handle it. They're like, oh my God, I feel so amazing. I don't understand. Like, this is so much to believe and to see. They're so happy, and to see their life transform like that and see their excitement is the greatest thing ever. So I'm constantly getting to see that and see them really truly get to embark on becoming their true self and having this beautiful life and being tuned into the earth and all these energies and their true self. It's so magical to see. It's my favorite thing to do. If I could do it all day, every day, I would be so happy just getting to help people do that, because it's such a beautiful thing to experience. And I know, because I've went through it. So then when I get to see other people, it's just, I know what they're about to go through. It makes it that much better. And I want this for everybody. That's why I do what I do, because it's like, I've done it all. I've went through it, and I've seen how incredible it is to bring all these parts of yourself back into balance and alignment, and to just be attuned to everything. And there's nothing better. So I want everyone to experience that, because they all can. That's just realizing that there's more to life than what you're experiencing now. You can heal, you can be whole, you can have everything. It's just, you have to know that, and you have to step into that power and embody it.
Christina, I read some about you. Like, I definitely looked at your website, and I think your story is really powerful of like what led to your own awakening, what led to you embracing the divine feminine and doing your work. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, yes. I didn't have an easy childhood whatsoever. And it was funny, I was hearing a reading the other day, and it was like what people think of you when they see you, just based off your appearance or them knowing you. And I already knew this about people. And it's so funny what people think when they see me. It's so opposite of what things are. They think just like, oh, you have everything handed to you, everything's easy because you're beautiful and you got people that just give you whatever you want. And it's like, no, I've had to work my butt off. I didn't have people there for me. Looks are nothing. That actually gives a whole bunch of other issues and problems than what you could ever imagine. And my life has been very difficult. I grew up very much in darkness and around darkness. I started getting attacked at about 2 years old from darker energies. My mother has demons in her. She sold her soul in a past life, so they were able to put demons right into her, and they run the show, and she has to sit back and watch them hurt everybody she loves. And so that was very much of stuff coming into my life I had to deal with constantly. My mom was in and out of jail and prison and everything else. And I was raised by my dad and grandmother. My dad was amazing growing up until my grandmother died. And, I pretty much lost everybody at once. My dad became like a monster, and he ended up getting entities. When he lost his mom, that it was what set him over the edge. And that's when entities try to get to you when you're at your lowest. That's when they come in, and that's when they really attach to you. They're able to break through and do a full attachment. And so my life was just surrounded by nothing but sadness and bad things and nobody there. And I moved out when I was 15 to get away from the abuse. And so I've been on my own ever since, and I knew then, like, if I go out, I got to make it on my own. There's nobody else to turn to. And I always, was there for other people, but nobody there to lift me up. But along the journey, at the point where I thought I wasn't going to be here much longer, I couldn't take it. I had my kids taken from me by their grandparents. The legal system failed me. They pretty much paid enough money to get what they wanted where I lived. The law doesn't matter. You paid about amount, you're going to get it. So, I mean, and that was the worst experience. My children were my everything, and every second of my day was spent with them. But it was hard because I was a single mom. And then God came in and showed me like it was something that I had to experience, that there are many light workers. We go through this because we are single parents and stuff. And like, we don't have any help. And we would have never been who we are today. We wouldn't have been able to heal. We wouldn't have had the time to heal if we were being a parent. That really becomes your life and you have no time to yourself. So many of us have to go down that road so we can heal and become this person we are today, standing here helping other people and being in such a great place. So it was very hard that when they stepped in, I was lost. Everybody in my life was there using me and taking advantage of me, even my family, and nobody cared about me, but they all wanted me to take care of them. And it was a very hard time. And that's where God came in and built me up. He's like, we're going to build your foundation from the ground up now. And we're going to, fill in the cracks so none of this darkness can get in ever again. And they really showed me so much of who I was. And I fought them for a long time on it and didn't listen, and fought them for a long time and didn't listen. And they just still kept on until I started like really taking them serious and listening to what they were saying about me. And I came into such a great place, even at a time in my life where I didn't have anything and everything was wrong in my life and there was nothing to be happy about. I was able to find peace and happiness. I was able to find the beauty in life and still keep going and be affecting other people and bringing this joy into their life, even when I have nothing. So it was such a beautiful thing. And I seen what an impact I could have on humanity. And then I could start seeing where my experience is. I mean, I had so much knowledge in that. I mean, when I meet somebody, I would just instantly know already what they need. I could tell because it's like attracts like, and you can sense like, and I would know what they were. I could just see that they were going through something I was. And there's nothing more powerful than that when you're able to help somebody that just feels so lost and they went to a million people for answers and they come to you and within a second, you're able to give them what they need and send them on their way. It's just, there's something so beautiful in that. And I'm so thankful for what I've gone through now. I don't regret any of it. It was hard, but God told me one time, he was like, you never had anybody there for you because you didn't need them. They're like, you are one with me. You have me. That's all you need. They don't have me. And when you're around them, that's the closest they have to be, having me. And that's why they need you. That's why they've always needed you, because you you're there for them because you have what they need. And so it totally changed my outlook. I was able to forgive like all the people that were never there, not having what everybody else had around me. And I was just able to step into that power and know what my role was here and be okay with that. And that's when my life just truly started to transform. It was realizing that there was a bigger picture to me going through everything that I did. And it's understanding it and allowing it and being okay with that, realizing that this is okay right where I am. It's just okay.
I get that. I feel that at my core. Like no matter how much trauma you go through, when you can step out of that and see the lessons you've learned, you are on your way to healing. And I don't know anybody, myself included, who hasn't been through a lot of like dark nights of the soul, abuse, trauma, dark attacks, but it's what propels us into who and what we're doing now. And
You
I
need
don't,
it.
yeah, I think we needed it in some way. It makes me, I know it made me stronger. And I wanted to tell you something too. When you said earlier, people look at you and what they think, and I'm going to tell you what I first thought when I saw your face. And this is because most of the people listening to the show are listening, not watching. This woman shines so much light. Like I looked at you and immediately I thought, oh, a fellow light worker. That's who we have here. So that's my first thought about you. And I imagine a lot of other people will see that too. So they're really attuned to that. If someone's interested in booking a channeling session with you, how would they arrange that?
If you go to Oracle, which is ORYKL, oracle.com, you can go under there and you can find me plus a million other great channelers that we have on there. But you can go on there, or you can do the / Christina Franz, and you will find me and you can book a session there anytime. And I also have my Earth Angel Light activations that you can go to and find me as well to book any sessions. I'm also an energy healer, psychic surgeon. I do anything spirituality I'm into. And so there's many different modalities I study in and different things I bring forward for people that you can see there at the Earth Angel Light activations.
Well, I will put that link to your site on Oracle on the show description too, so you can find
Yes.
it there. And I just want to thank you so much for being on the show today. I've been really looking forward to this, and it's just lovely to hear what you have to say. I know it's going to help a lot of people.
Thank you for having me. And I love the work you do too. I love the angels and the angelic realm. I work closely with them and I love what you're doing. And the divine loves what you're doing as well. They're saying they're like, you really make an impact on people and you touch a lot of people also with this series. And so I'm very appreciative for all that you do as well for this world.
Oh, thank you so much. I hope you've all enjoyed this interview. And next week, you can tune in. I'll be talking about the classification of angels called cherubs. There's been a request for that. And we're going to talk about who they are, what they do, and the history, and how they're presented now in modern times. Just kind of all about cherubs in general. And in the meantime, may your angels surround you. May your angels protect you every moment, every day of your life. I'll see you next week.